Hello children. In the previous session we studied about different types of plant tissues. Now today we will study about animal tissues. Children, animal tissues can be broadly classified into four types: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Now this classification I've taken from your textbook for your convenience. You can open your books to page number 20 and you will find out this diagram. Now we will study about each type of tissue one by one. So we will start with epithelial tissue. Here in this diagram, children, you can see that epithelial tissue is further divided into four types: squamous, columnar, cuboidal and ciliated. Now before studying each type, first we need to understand that what is epithelial tissue and where we will find it. So epithelial tissue means that tissue which makes the external layers of the animal body and its organs. Alright, so epithelial tissue will form the external layer of all the organs and our body externally as well. So where we will find it? It will be found on the external surface of the entire body. Skin, surface layer of mouth, the external covering of the alimentary canal, lungs, all these things, they are made up of epithelial tissue. Okay, so the covering is the epithelial tissue. Now, on the basis of the shape and functions, they are further classified into four types. The first type is squamous epithelium. Now, squamous epithelium is a single layer of flat and wide cells. So they are quite flat and wide, and wherever they will be present, they will be single layered. Alright, they look like many tiles placed one after the other. They look like tiles. They fit together like floor tiles. Where they are found, they form lining of cavities like mouth, esophagus, heart and blood vessels. Children, mouth you all know. Esophagus is the food pipe. So when we swallow the food, it moves through the food pipe into the stomach. So the lining of the food pipe, and the other name for food pipe is esophagus. All the linings of esophagus, linings of the heart, blood vessels, they are made up of squamous epithelium. The function of this epithelial tissue is to protect the organs from mechanical injury, from any sort of damage, and it also forms a protective layer. It prevents entry of germs. Now squamous epithelium, they are quite permeable also, means they allow absorption and transport of different materials. Alright, so this is all about squamous epithelium that you have to remember. Next type is cuboidal epithelium. By the name you can tell me that what will be the shape of the cells. The cells are cube like, so they will be as wide as tall. The cells are cube like, and one special feature is that they have a very large centrally placed nucleus. Where we will find this type of epithelial covering? In the walls of the kidney tubules, in glands, we will find cuboidal epithelium. Okay, so they help in excretion of waste, since they are found in the kidney tubules, and you all know that what is the function of kidney. Plus we are finding them in the glands also, so they have their function in excretion and secretion of saliva, sweat, etc. The third type is columnar epithelium. So they look like columns, they are column like, they are taller than they are wide. So they are tall cells, very neatly placed one after the other, and they have nuclei at the base. So cuboidal cells were having nucleus at the center. Columnar epithelial cells, they have nucleus at the base. They form lining of stomach, small intestine and gallbladder. Now these cells, they also allow absorption and secretion. So the function is absorption of digested food material and secretion of mucus. You all know that when the food moves to the stomach, then the process of digestion is going on there. When it reaches the small intestine, the process of absorption begins. So there we will find the lining of columnar epithelium, which aids in absorption of digested food. Next is your ciliated epithelium. The cells, they are columnar only. The only difference is that at the top of the cells we find thread like structures called cilia. Okay, so they are columnar cells, but they have cilia at the apical on the top of the cells. They are found, where do we find ciliated epithelium? They will be found in the lining of windpipe, bronchi, kidney tubules. Now children, we have lungs. Now there one more structure is there, that is the windpipe, okay, through which both the lungs are attached. Now in the windpipe, the inner lining, it has ciliated epithelium. Why? So that those the cilia will show some movement. Those thread like structures, they move, okay, and they push away the mucus, and they help in movement of the air, okay, so that every time the tract is clean and air passes easily inside the lungs. So this movement of cilia, it helps in movement of particles, different particles in one direction. Alright, so the cilia, they move together, and with their movement, the movement of mucus and other particles also becomes easier. Now you will see the shapes. Flat, wide cells are the squamous epithelial cells. Cuboidal, they are cube-like, as wide as tall, and centrally placed nucleus. Columnar, the cells are very tall, nucleus is at the base. And the fourth diagram is of ciliated epithelium. The cells are columnar only. The only difference is that at the top they have thread-like structures called cilia. Alright, so these are the four types of epithelial cells. Now moving on to connective tissue. The second type of animal tissue is connective tissue. Children, name itself is telling that what is the function of this tissue. Connective tissue is the supporting tissue. Alright, we all know that bones are connected to each other, then bones are connected to the muscles also. So how is all this connection possible? Because of connective tissue. Plus we have fluid in our body, that is the blood and lymph, all these, they come under connective tissue. So the cells, they are living and they are less in number, they are separate from each other, they are not compact. There is a lot of space between the cells, and that space is filled with a substance, a gel-like substance called matrix. Alright, so children, you have to remember that connective tissue contains less number of cells, and the cells are separated from each other. In between there is a lot of space that is filled with matrix. This matrix is nothing but a gel-like substance. It is mainly made up of water and some proteins, some fibrous substances. So matrix is there and less number of cells. These two things you have to remember. Now on the basis of structure and function, it is of three types: connective tissue proper, skeletal tissue and fluid connective tissue. We will study each. Connective tissue proper, it is of two types: tendons and ligaments. Now tendons. What do? They join our muscles to the bones, and in this way they help in movement of the bones. So they are very strong and flexible. They are cord like, and their main function is to join the muscles with the bones. When the muscles and bones are together, then only through the contraction and relaxation of the muscles we are able to show movement. Second type of connective tissue proper is ligament. Ligament, they are elastic in nature, and they connect one bone to the other. All right. Then skeletal tissue. It is of two types, bones and cartilage. Children, if you touch your ear pinna or the tip of your nose and you try to move it a little bit, it can easily bend, it can easily move, right? So these regions, they contain cartilage. And bones, you all are aware of that. What are bones? Bones are very strong, they are not that flexible. And if you see if you just see the detailed structure of bone, you will find that it is porous. It has many pores inside, or they are quite hollow from inside, but they are very strong, they are not flexible. The matrix that is there inside bones, that is also solid, and they have a good supply of blood vessels and nerves. Where do we find the bones? Bones, they make up the skeleton of the body. Apart from providing a proper shape to the body, then apart from protecting the internal organs, one major function of bone is that it is the site for the production of red blood cells and white blood cells. Okay, our blood contains red blood cells and white blood cells. So where are these cells formed? They are formed inside the bones. Cartilage, as I told you, that where we will find them in the ear pinna, nose tip, epiglottis, and lower end of the ribs. Now they are non-porous and they are quite elastic. There is no supply of blood vessels and nerves, and they that is why whenever we move these regions like the nose tip and ear pinna, they are very flexible. We can move them easily. They can be bent easily. So their main function is to provide all the support and flexibility to the organs. Next connective tissue type is fluid connective tissue. And in this we will only study about blood. Children, you all know that blood is fluid. Okay, it is fluid, so it comes under fluid connective tissue. The cells, it is having red blood cells and white blood cells, plus it has blood plasma. Now blood flows in blood vessels called arteries, veins, and capillaries. So there are three types of blood vessels in which the blood flows. They are arteries, veins, and capillaries. Why do we have blood? What is the function? Now blood, it helps in transport of essential substances from one part of the body to the other, right? Plus it carries oxygen to the cells of the body, and it carries carbon dioxide from different parts of the body back to the lungs. Back to the heart. Then the white blood cells that are present in our blood, white blood cells, they have a very specific function. They fight against diseases. Okay, so when we talk about immunity, we are basically talking about the ability of the body to fight against diseases, and these white blood cells that are present in our blood helps us fight. And blood platelets, again, these are also specialized cells that are found in the blood, and they help in clotting of blood. Whenever we get any injury or a cut, then blood oozes out, and after some time we see that the blood starts clotting. So how that clotting happens? It is because of the blood platelets. Okay, they are specialized cells that are found in blood. All right, so here you see, children, our blood comprises of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and blood plasma. Okay, so red blood cells are red in color, white blood cells are quite big in size, you can see. Blood platelets are very small, and apart from this, the background that is quite yellowish in color, that is nothing but the blood plasma. So if you just take a drop of blood and you try to see it under the microscope, then you will be able to see that it is made up of these many things. All right, and each has its own function. You must be able to understand by now that red blood cells, what do they do? As I told you, transportation of essential substances from one part of the body to other, plus taking in oxygen and supplying it to the different body cells, taking in carbon dioxide and giving it back to the heart. White blood cells, they help our bodies to fight against diseases. Platelets, they help in blood clotting. And these cells are found freely moving where? In the blood plasma. All right, now we will study about muscular tissue and nervous tissue in the next session. Till that time, children, please revise the two types of animal tissues that we have discussed today. All right, thank you, children.